Hello everybody and welcome to Sam's Doing Stuff. What am I doing today? There's a new splitter in the house. You already know it, you already love it. It is the Eastonmade Ultra. Yes, the hot rod of firewood splitters. Why is it a hot rod? Because of its 4-second cycle time. Yes, it is fast, super fast. It is powered by the Vanguard 14.0 408cc gas engine, and it is beefy. It is made to last, and made in Canada, of course. You know the Japanese make great knives and Canadians make great log splitters. This thing is built to last. They spared no expense. The steel on this thing is so thick and the welds are excellent. Everything about this is just leaps and bounds above your typical big box store splitter. And I just cannot express in words how excited I am to start knocking some paint off of this thing. Oh my gosh, it is so exciting. And I think what's even more exciting is how this all happened. So I want to play for you. This was about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. I got a phone call.
Hey Sam, it's Andrew Easton giving you a call. It is 7:30, 7:45 here on Friday evening. Just trying to reach you, Sam. Not sure if you have any interest, but if you have a bought a splitter yet, I'd be more than happy to work with you on one. Just give me a call back, Sam. 613.
When I listened to that message, oh my gosh, I pretty much jumped through the ceiling. It was so exciting. Of course, I called him right back and we talked, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to show you. Everyone's seen the splitter, but I want to show you what it does for a person that is starting like I am to grow their hobby, their firewood hobby, into a business. And I could tell right away that the bottleneck in my process was definitely going to be my big box store splitter. That thing is a glacier. What took me hours is going to be down to minutes. Absolutely. It would take me conservatively at least an hour to fill an IBC tote with firewood with that big box store splitter. This is less than a third of the cycle time. I try never to talk too intelligently about something that I don't know anything about, but there are some things that I know right off the bat. Number one, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. My big box store splitter, when you use it, it has a plate down here and the wedge comes and pushes through the wood. So the wood stays stationary as the wedge pushes through, you know, after about a week and a half. This, of course, pushes the wood through the wedge. So there's going to be something different. Already I know it's going to feel different. I do like the handle set up right here is exactly like on my old splitter. So push it forward, the goes, push it back and stops, you know, perfect, wonderful, that'll be great. This is a big table. This is fantastic. I don't know how well it's gonna work. You know, of course I'm about to find out, but I'm thinking it's gonna be great for pushing a piece through and being able to sort it as I go. You know how picky I am about my splits. And speaking of being picky, because I'm so picky, I'm gonna switch out the 4-way for the single wedge right now. I might someday, of course I'm going to try it, but you know, I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with the 4-way yet. So I want to start this whole process with the single. So we just pull this pin. Is that going to drop down? It's probably going to drop down. Let's see how heavy it is. Everyone says it's ridiculously heavy. It's not. It's not heavy at all. That was pretty easy. So we drop the new wedge in, get it set to where you want it. I'm going to set it to its highest spot, I think. Might as well. Right there. Well, that's going to be tricky. There we go. There's definitely a technique to changing that out. It's not as easy as it could be. Start the pin underneath first, then get that position kind of where you want it. Pull it towards you so there's some friction, and then you can get that pin through and drop it into place. It took a little doing, but it wasn't that bad once I figured it out. Now this is going to be a huge difference. Look at this. That wedge maximum is 8 inches. The wedge on the Ultra is almost a foot. That is 100% without a doubt gonna make for better splits, cleaner splits, more accurate splits. Because one thing I can tell you for sure from the old splitter, when you only have half of the wood or a portion of the wood on the wedge, the rest of what's not on the wedge can just do what it wants to do. It's gonna make nicer wood. The roller works great with it, obviously. I've got one more prediction, and that is, and I've said this before, because this splitter is so much faster than the old splitter, it's not gonna make sense to try and stack while I'm splitting. So I think I'm just gonna let it all just fall off onto the ground. I'll stack after I finish. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. I don't care about anything else. This is fun. And that's why I make firewood, right? Because I enjoy it. This is amazing. But let me tell you, fast? Yeah. I thought I was gonna be in danger because of how fast it is, and I don't wanna jinx myself here. I'm being careful. Watch where you put your hands. You know, it's faster than I am, that's for sure. It goes way faster than I can work, which is, it's all you can do, right? I mean, you don't need a machine faster than that. And the technique just came to me. There is a reverse in my mind because I'm used to looking at the wedge. Remember I said before, coming this way, so I'm looking for the precision from this end. You have to line up your split on the end with the wedge. I mean, it makes sense, but you've got to really, if you've been doing splitting for as long as I have with that type of splitter and you switch to this, it's a bit of a learning curve, yeah. But man, I got it, and boy is it a blast. I just, I was absolutely 150% correct with the idea that it makes no sense to try and stack while you split. No way. Yeah, this is way faster. I would be wasting gas and wasting my time to try and put each split into a basket. So let it fall off the table, make a pile, and I'll just stack after I finish. Wow, and it's just now lunchtime. I can't believe this. I cannot believe how much wood I split in that amount of time. There's gonna be some calculations and stuff, not in this video. We're gonna do some breakdowns because I know how long it takes to make this much wood. I did this all in a morning. I mean, some of you guys, you know, that maybe already have an Ultra or have a pro level splitter, know what I'm thinking right now. You know the epiphany that's happening. It just blows me away. I cannot believe I made this much wood, and these splits are fantastic. These splits are all just as good as what I would make with the other splitter. I don't know if I even want to try the 4-way. This is enough. I mean, I gotta try the 4-way at some point, just have to try it. Man. Okay, so anyway, here I am. Yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna eat some lunch, and then the rest of what's on there is all oak, so I can't do that at the same time. I'm gonna have to clean all this up, so I'll stack all this. That'll be the next thing, and then we'll start on the oak. But I'm gonna get some lunch, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, this might seem a little bit crazy, but it's 5:30 in the morning and it's the coolest part of the day. Yeah, it's already 71, but it's nice. So I figured I'd come down here and do something quiet, start stacking this stuff so I can get onto that oak. I'm not sure if everybody's gonna get this, but this is a really good thing for me. This situation right here, early mornings, there was nothing I could really do this early in the morning before because it makes so much noise, you know, running machinery. But now I've got something I can do. I'll split during the day, and then early mornings, I usually just sit around, drink my coffee and just sit and wait for the day to start. Now I can come down here and I can stack a basket or two. Now that filled that basket, and I'm pretty sure this is another basket worth. So estimate is that was a half a cord, because two of those baskets is a half a cord. And then I've got all this oak here, which is about half of what was sitting there. So maybe it was about a cord of wood sitting up here. I'm getting better at this estimating stuff. Anyway, I'm out of baskets and I'm not about to cut a basket this early in the morning. That'll make a lot of noise. So come back this afternoon and get back at it. Well, I'm all cleaned up, ready to split the oak. It's too hot. The difference from the morning to now. I don't live in Northeast Ohio because I like the heat. Oh, I'm gonna do some more tomorrow morning. Oh, it's a little less humid this morning, just a little bit. So if this is gonna be a true first impressions video, of course I have to run the 4-way wedge, so I'll do that this morning. I think it'll be a good idea to have a piece of 4x4 handy, and I'll set it under there so the 4-way wedge can set on it while I put the pin back in. Just an idea. Not heavy. Take the wedge, set it down there. I guess ultimately what you want is you want this bottom section here to be the size of your perfect size split. So I think a 3.5 inch 4x4 here is probably about the right size. Gonna have to lift up on it a little bit. There we go. You see what I did there? I just took the 4x4 and I just pried up on it a little bit. That's a good idea, it works. Now I'm sure they're saving cost by not having a hydraulic up and down for the 4-way, but just a little bit of ingenuity and you can make it work, no problem. While I'm running this 4-way for the first time, I want to talk to you a little bit about my observations from the first time using that with the single wedge. It's a very important thing to know what to do with the splits as you're going, because this thing is so fast, you don't want stuff to get in your way. So what I found is when I make my first split, I split that log in half, I will put the larger piece away from me, take up the table that's farther away from me, and then split the piece that's closest to me down into smaller sections. Two things, it's better to split the stuff that's closer to you first, and it also allows you to split small pieces off of that larger piece, and the other piece that's waiting for you doesn't get in the way. So try and work it that way. Keep everything away from you that's waiting to be split, and the stuff you're working on should be closest to you. Another thing I realized, and I noticed this right off the bat, boy, a conveyor would really help with a splitter like this. You're splitting things right off the end of the table into a huge pile, and no, it's not a big deal to pick it up and stack it in the baskets like I do. It only takes a few minutes to do that, but if you had a conveyor, it's gonna make that mess go, you'll put it right up into my dump trailer. That's what I would do. I would split a whole cord straight up into the dump trailer, and then I would stack out of the dump trailer, because we all know how easy that is. I like the shutoff on this engine. When you turn it off, it's not an electric shutoff. You're turning the fuel off, so it doesn't allow fuel to just sit in the carburetor when you're not using it. Not that I won't be using it much. Well, the 4-way is definitely faster, but it's also better for my parents because there's a lot more waste, for sure. It is interesting that with that knife, I'm not gonna call it a wedge anymore, it's more of a knife. If you've got a knot, and I know I should sell everything, but the stuff with the knots in it looks a little uglier and it would stick out and be bumpy, you can cut that right off with these. The knife, you can send it through and you can shape those pieces however you want them. I mean, like I say, you get some uglies, and that 4-way, I think whether you use a box wedge or using a multi-way splitter, they all create more chaff, definitely. But like I said, that's good for my parents, they're gonna love it. All right, let's talk some first time use observations. There's definitely a paradigm shift happening for sure from that slow box store splitter to this pro splitter. And if you're thinking about it, you know, it's an investment. The Eastonmade puts their prices right on their website, so you don't have to guess. I believe right now this is $53.50 plus tax and shipping. I'm not sure exactly what you'd be at there. It depends on where you are and where it's shipped to. But a big box store splitter at your local big box store, I averaged them, they're around $1,500. So this is 3 to 3.5 times more to buy this. So it better do 3 to 3.5 times more for you, right? Well, I did the math a long time ago on how much I was making with the procedure that I used before, and I was making about 30 bucks an hour with all the time that I was spending to make firewood and sell it at $300 a cord. So we got to keep the $300 a cord, and then just factor this in, do everything else the same, and I've already done all the math, and it comes out to about 4 times as much. And that makes total sense because this is at least 4 times as fast. If you've got everything set up the way I do, so you can just chuck rounds on it and get them pushed through, you're making about conservatively $100 an hour to $120 an hour if you're selling it at $300 a cord. Yeah, $3 a cord. Yeah, it's definitely it doesn't save your back. Nope, does not save your back. As a matter of fact, my arm hurts a little bit because you're working a lot harder. You're working faster. You got to be ready for that, definitely. But you're getting things done 4 times as fast. That is extremely important if you have a family. And of course, I have my wife, and my daughter has autism. So she is my #1 job. And right now, you know, she's at camp, so I get to do this, but my time is limited. So the amount of time that I can save using a faster splitter, it just makes sense. That's the way I think. Now, I just want to take a couple seconds. I want to thank Andrew wholeheartedly. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to put up some video of the delivery since I've had some delivery issues before. You all know what I'm talking about. This went smoothly as ever. Dason is his name, and he helped unload the splitter, and we got it off with the excavator, and it went great. It was wonderful. And then once it's off the excavator, of course, this thing is totally towable. You can tow it down the road, I think up to like 35, 40 miles an hour. I might be wrong, it might be faster, I don't know. But it's got a good torsion axle and tires. You can tow it down the road. Anyway, I just towed it down here with the tractor after that. And yeah, the delivery went very smoothly, which, like I said before, and oh my gosh, the people, Sandra at Eastonmade called me, let me know that it was on its way. Dason called me when he was on his way, gave me updates of how far away he was so I could be ready for him. That's the way customer service should be, guys. All right, let's not, because I could go forever. So once again, thank you, Andrew, from Eastonmade. It just makes sense, I think, that Easton Firewood is going to be made with an Eastonmade product. So we're no relation. There's no relation between, not that I know of anyway, maybe long time ago, but no relation between Andrew and me. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm going to run out of wood. I got to figure out how to get more wood and get it fast because I'm going to run out quick with this thing. So I appreciate you stopping by. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe so I can see you next time when I'm splitting more stuff. See you then.